Hey guys, today I'm talking now about The Banshees of Inisherin, an Irish movie or UK movie. I think money came from both places, that tells the story of two friends that have stopped being friends, which is kind of funny because, the movie really uses that in a very smart way, I have to say. This movie is directed and written and produced, I think, by Martin McDonagh, who was actually also nominated for the Academy Award for a movie called In Bruges several years ago that also starred Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson. I remembered watching that movie and I got a copy of the movie, but it had no subtitles, even in English. So that movie was so hard to understand. Half of the movie I just didn't get it, and people were loving and praising that movie, and I was like, why are people loving this movie if you cannot understand shit they're saying? But maybe that was just me because there's a very thick Irish accent. But in this movie, in Banshees of Inisherin, they are in Ireland, of course, in an actually kind of an imaginary place because the Inisherin doesn't really exist, but it is an island where they filmed the movie, and their accents are not as thick or as difficult to understand, so that's always good. And I think that the premise again of the two friends that fall out of their friendship is very interesting because you never really know in the movie why that friend exactly stopped being friends with the other one. He gives an explanation, but you feel, and I think that every person that watches the movie feels that there's something more behind that. There's something else behind that. And the premise of the movie is so simple. Two friends that stop being friends, and one of them really wants to first of all know why the other one doesn't want to be friends with him anymore, and number two, he wants to keep being friends. He doesn't want to lose that friendship. But that's just like a silly movie. It could be any silly movie of those that other actors might do, but this screenplay really takes it to another level, on many other levels, because the simple story tells so many other stories in it. The sister of Colin Farrell in this movie, played by actress Kerry Condon, is one of the examples. She's a woman that has lived, I guess, all of her life with her brother and with some animals, and now she realizes that she's going insane in that place. She's going crazy in a place where everyone knows what everyone does, basically, and that's not something she likes. And when a man, the policeman of the island, actually tells her that no one likes her, it's not, I don't think it is that she cries, not because she realizes that that's the truth, but because it's like, oh, it is confirmed. She has always felt it, maybe, but then she realized that maybe she deserves a life somewhere else. And that's very interesting because they tell that part of the story with her, that someone who can feel misplaced in somewhere and decide to do something about it. And then there's her brother, a person that maybe does also feel a little bit weird in that place, but he has always had a friend to talk about anything, to be honest, any stupid thing. And he feels that's enough, and he's a simple person. There's a discussion in the movie also about people that are simple-minded or dull, which I think it is a valid thing to question yourself about. Maybe you think you're the best thing ever, and that's great, but maybe you're not. Maybe you're kind of boring, and maybe there's not a lot going on in your life, but that doesn't mean you're just that. And that's a really smart thing that the movie does, because for an hour and a half of the movie's around 1 hour 50 minutes. For an hour and a half, you're like, Colin Farrell is actually kind of dull in the movie. The character is kind of dull, kind of maybe dumb even, simple-minded, if you will. But in the last 20 minutes, you're like, oh, he's not. He has this thing brewing inside of him that was brought out because of anger, because of despair, because of the realization that life cannot always be the same thing, and that when something changes, you sometimes change with that. and that's very interesting how the movie handles it. I think the best part of the movie by far is the screenplay. I think this movie would be nominated in the Academy Awards if it's nominated tomorrow. Actually, it would be nominated in Best Original Screenplay, I believe, because Martin McDonagh never adapts anything. He actually creates things himself. And honestly, I think it should win because it's really smart. It works in so many levels, and the dialogue actually is that kind of dialogue that is always has a purpose, if you will. There's always something to be said. The things that are said are always useful to the plot. There's nothing wasted when people talk in this movie, and that's so refreshing because in many movies, you just hear people talk and talk and talk, and it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything when they talk, and you just have to grab the things that are useful. And this movie, it's actually the opposite because they use silence and they use these massive landscapes, beautiful landscapes, to evoke the fact that there are some things that are better shown than said, and that's what movies should be about. There's so much imagery, so many images, so many beautiful things that evoke all the things and that make you understand what the characters are going through. Everything that is said is useful, and it is a source of information. For example, there's a discussion between Carrie Condon and some woman in a shop, and this woman in the shop is a gossip. She loves gossip and she wants to know the news. And the policeman tells her about a boy that apparently fell somewhere and drowned in the shore of the island. And you're like, oh, that's very sad. And we don't know, but that actually comes back at the end of the movie. And it's kind of obvious, but at the same time, it's kind of smart that they like plant the seed and then show it to you without saying anything else than that. And that's very smart. I mean, the screenplay is masterful, to be honest. I think it's Martin McDonagh's best work so far. As for acting, Colin Farrell is just outstanding, amazing. I think Colin Farrell is a fantastic actor, and if I had a vote in the Academy Awards, to be honest, I would vote for Colin Farrell for Best Actor in a Leading Role, no doubt. I mean, I haven't seen The Whale with Brendan Fraser, but I think that seems like a shtick, like, oh look, I'm in a fat suit and I'm portraying a gay man. I mean, so many things about The Whale. I'm going to watch that movie at some point, but so many things about that movie make me feel a little bit uneasy, to be honest. I don't. And Brendan Fraser's acceptance speech on the Critics' Choice Awards, oh my god, that was so hard to watch. It was kind of annoying, to be honest. It was like trying too hard. I didn't like that. So I mean, I really hope Colin Farrell could win for this performance. Brendan Gleeson is amazing, but to be honest, Barry Keoghan is the best supporting actor here. He's outstanding. He won't win to I forget his name, the guy from Everything Everywhere All at Once. That guy is going to win that prize, but Barry Keoghan, I mean, gives in a run for his money because he's truly amazing as this simple-minded guy on this island. I love Barry Keoghan. He is not only physically very appealing to me, but he's a fantastic actor, and that's I mean, I really want the best for him. I hope all his projects are great, as the ones for Kerry Condon, who is actually also amazing in this movie. I hope she has a way of winning the Best Supporting Actress award. That's still a little bit on the up and up, if you will, so we don't know yet, but I bet she's going to be nominated for this performance. And everything else is beautiful. The cinematography is fantastic, the sound, the score, I mean, everything is just so powerful in this movie. The directing is flawless. I think this is one of the best directed movies of 2022, for sure. I mean, this movie is amazing, and you should look for it and just watch it because it's great. So please watch The Banshees of Inisherin, and I love this movie. One of my favorite movies of 2022, for sure. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment down below whatever you think about this movie, and we'll see each other tomorrow live, actually, for in order to check the nominations for the Academy Awards. Thank you so much. Goodbye.